Crochet artists, how are you? And welcome to the Lhasa Crochet channel. I hope you are all doing well. And after the success of the rectangular tablecloth we made with filet, I wanted to crochet. With you is the beautiful heart-shaped tablecloth. This is like your white heart. I loved the pattern and wanted to implement it with you. I hope you like it as well. Let me know what you think. In this video, I will tell you all the details about it. The length, width, and thread, and how to enlarge and how to decrease. We will explain all these details in this video, and the next one will start working on the rows. The length will be approximately 2 meters and 10 centimeters. Give or take a little bit. The width will be from 100 centimeters. 100 to 105 centimeters. Also a little more or a little less, depending on the strength of the hand. I will use a thread that is not too thin. The thread will guide me on these sizes and how to reduce the tablecloth if we want to make a smaller size than the original. There is one way to make it in smaller size, which is using thinner yarn with the appropriate hook size. Well, if we want to enlarge the tablecloth, we need a larger size for the width. What will we do in the biggest way? There are two methods. The first method is the opposite of the shrinking method. We will use a thread thicker than the diva, or we will use the diva work on 2 or 3 layers of thread. The second way to enlarge the size of the cover. We will work how we usually do all. In the previous cover we worked on, the square of the crochet fillet is composed of 2 stitches plus 1. And this is what we will also work on in the cover, that I will work on all the measurements are taken as the work of the square. Fillet 2 stitches plus 1 if we want to enlarge. We will work on the square for 3 stitches plus 1. If you want to make it larger, start with 442 chains. Use quad fillet crochet instead of small fillet crochet. I will start with 295 chains. chains for 2-1. 442 chains for 3 plus 1. $295 DC3, DC1 CH1 DC1. 442 DC4, DC1 CH2 DC1. All stitches are closed, full and open empty. I will work the tablecloth with the Alice Diva. And this is its data. The thread, if anyone wants to take a screenshot or something I will work with a needle size 1.25 millimeters. The work that I will do with this thread, with this needle strongly, my hand will take. With me 1500 grams. I will explain to you now how to calculate. The tablecloth will take from me how much you will work with any thread you have, or the thread that you want to work, with the thread that you love to work with. The tablecloths, the fillet you will try, let's work together the first 3 rows, or the first line, so you know the width. As I explained to you before, that the width is what determines if you need to enlarge or shrink. So the first thing we will do is the first row to know if the width is suitable or not, because if the width is not suitable, you will see if you need to shrink. We will use a smaller thread if you need to enlarge. Then either you use double thread or thicker thread, or we will increase the number of starting stitches. This is the first thing. The second thing that I will explain now is how I calculate how much thread the tablecloth will take. The first thing, we will determine when after we work 3 rows of the tablecloth. So prepare your thread. See, I mean starting with the width. If the width is okay, then work the first 3 lines and execute this method to know how, or how much thread the fillet tablecloth will take from you, and it will be how long. And of course, the weight of the thread will be how much you need. I hope that you like the tablecloth, and you implement it with me, as you shared with me on the trip to the rectangular fillet tablecloth. And I was happy with all your messages and comments and the pictures of the work of yours, and honestly it gives me energy to work and look for new patterns and work with you on things that stay for the times, and you remember me with any piece you implement from me on the channel. And I hope for you all the goodness and all the health. The method how to know how much thread the tablecloth will take, and it can also be implemented on any tablecloth. That this is the method specific to the fillet tablecloth, which is divided into 2 sides, 1 side up and 1 side down or left and right, as you like to call it. And if you have any tablecloth or any piece you want to make how calculate how much thread the tablecloth will take from me. The thread will come out within the limits, but it will be very close. Very means, for example, 95% the weight will come out. Correct, it was not more than that. I worked the first 2 rows with me, the row which is the main, and the row second I worked from this side, and I worked from you. I will place the work on the scale. We will open the scale first, and I will put this work of the 3 rows on it. It came out with me 17 gram. Perfect. Well, that's it. I've completed the number of rows the tablecloth is composed. The actual number of rows. Total, I have the number of rows on the one side. 144 rows. I will multiply them by 2 to get the other side with me. It will be 144 or Any number I will work on, I will multiply it by 2. If it is divided for me into 2 sides, I will multiply it by 2 and subtract 1. The number that will come out, I will divide by 3. The number of rows that I worked on, if I worked 4, I worked 5. I will divide by the number that I worked on. Alright, I will divide here by 3. After I divide the number of rows of the fabric by 3, I will multiply the number that will come out by 17. I will multiply it by 17 grams. Alright, or the number that came out for me on the scale, I will multiply it by 17. It will give me the weight of the thread that I will need. It will come out in the range of the average between those two. A bit more, a bit less, but I will know. Reserve this if I will work with the same type of thread knot. You will not work with the same type of thread. You will know how by the same method I told you about, I will still work. For example, 2, 4, 5 rows. And weigh the thread. And do the calculation that we worked on, the total number of rows. All will be calculated by any method. I will divide by the one that will come out. I will multiply it by the weight of the thread that what I just weighed. If we did 3 lines, I will divide by 3 if I did 3. We'll divide by 5 if I did 5 rows. And weighed. How do I calculate? The length I will measure here. What is the length of the 3 rows? On the measure here, the 3 rows are 2 centimeters, so number of rows in the tablecloth, 287. Number of rows divided by 3. Multiply the result by 2. 2 centimeters. Now we know how to determine the weight that I will need from the thread. And I knew how much the length will be, and the width will be how much. Of course, all these numbers are approximate. They are very close to reality, but for example, the length we will do blocking. So it will increase more the length. More, it won't increase a lot. I mean the blocking about 5 to 10 centimeters. Here, this is another thing is important, but I must warn you if you are going to enlarge the tablecloth in a way that you use the quad stitch, which is the 4th stitch, so throughout the tablecloth in every videos, do not rely at all on any numbers of double crochet or chains. I mean rely only on the number of squares work on. Number of squares, but the number of double crochet and chains are not for you. I hope you like the pattern and crochet it with me, and we will start together in the next video.